Good morning. It's a beautiful morning and another day to live, love, laugh, learn. As the psalmist King David said, "This is the day that the Lord hath made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it." So it's time to rejoice and be glad. I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the things that we're going to be sharing here in this blog, and just a little bit about where I am and what I'm seeing and what I want to share with you. As I mentioned earlier, I came through, a lot of religious abuse, really, if you want to call it what it is, through my whole life. And even, those things, it didn't cause me to turn away from religion or to turn away from God. It caused me to want to look deeper, to want to know what is really going on behind this. There is a capacity in man to want to believe in something greater than himself, and something that is to answer the big questions of life. Who are we, and why did we get here, and why are we conscious? What is our consciousness? And you look at all the different religions of the world, Christianity, Buddhism, Taoism, Islam, and all of these different traditions, and they're all pointing to an awareness of a greater reality that is beyond the physical world that we can see, hear, touch, and taste. And so I don't think that just came out of nowhere. I don't think that is just a myth. I believe that there is some kind of a knowledge in humankind that seeks to transcend this world and to get in touch with something greater and something more. And the real crux of the matter is this: that learning how to identify who we are and to get in touch with our true nature. Jesus called it the kingdom of heaven, the God within you, your true identity. Some people call it self-realization. But the key to understanding God and the key to life is really learning how to manage your consciousness, how to get in touch, look inside and get in touch with your identity on the inside, and manage your state of awareness. And that really is the key. If you can control this, if you can learn to manage this, then you can manage everything else in your life. And if you boil it down, all of the true great religions of the world have this in common. Get away from the rules and the rituals and the stories, and get past all of the fluff. And if you get down to the real core of it all, you understand that the purpose of all of the great world religions is actually to teach mankind how to manage his consciousness and how to achieve and maintain a state of love and gratitude, and joy and peace that passes all understanding, no matter what is going on in the outside world. As I said earlier, Jesus called it the kingdom of heaven. And when I grew up and went to church, I was always taught that the kingdom of heaven was a place we were going to go to. And, if you lived a good life and you were a good person, and if you believed that Jesus died for your sins, then, you could accept his gift of grace. And, after you die, you would go to a place called the kingdom of heaven. My views have changed. I'm still a Christian, and I still believe in Jesus Christ. But I don't believe in the way that most people do. I don't take the story at a surface level. I think there is something deeper beneath the surface of the as we used to call it, the old redemption story of Jesus dying for our sins, and we accept his gift of grace. There is more to it than that. I do not believe that belief in a historical figure. We know that Jesus was a man. We know that he did live. There's actually more historical documentation to substantiate the life of Jesus, than there is of the life of Alexander the Great. There's not only the Bible, but we also have many extra biblical sources. To deny that Jesus Christ did exist and did live is foolish. And I believe that he was who he said he was. But he said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. He said, look neither here nor there. In other words, don't look outside yourself. Don't look to a place that you're going to go to one day. The kingdom of heaven is right here. It is right now. And, the Buddhist and the yogic traditions say basically the same thing, is understanding your true identity and who you are. Because who you are, your awareness, is the kingdom of heaven. You have a body, but you are not your body. There was a great Indian sage, I believe his name was Maharishi Maharaj or something like that. I'll have to look that up. But he said that the purpose the path to self-realization is to continually ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? And so if you ask yourself that question, well, who am I? I could say, well, okay, I'm Gus O'Haron. Well, that's not who I am. That is not who I am. That is a name that my parents gave me. And I could say, well, I'm a man, and I'm 52 years old, and I was a pastor. I am a father. And all of those things would be true. However, all of those things are labels. Those are things that happened to me. I lived, you could say, well, I grew up in Texas, and therefore that's who I am. I'm a Texan. I'm an American. I'm a Mexican. I'm French. Those are things that happen to you. They happen to, that's where you grew up or the culture that you came from. But that is not actually who you are. Your body may be male. Your body may be female. But that is not who you are. That is just your gender. Who you actually are is actually the awareness that lives in here. The awareness that observes your body. It is the awareness that observes your body, that feels cold. When your body is cold, there is something inside that says, I am cold. I am hot. I am sick. I don't feel well. I feel good. There is something inside that is observing what's going on in your body, and the energy flow and the things that you feel move. You know, when someone, let's say, for instance, says something that might hurt your feelings, and you feel that pain right here, that little sinking feeling in your heart, that tension that happens there. That's a reaction, the emotional reaction of your body. But who you truly are is the awareness that is aware that that is happening. And you are also the observer of your mind. You know, we are always narrativizing. We are always dialoguing inside our heads. You know, if you can go outside on a cold day and you say automatically, oh, it's cold. Well, of course it's cold. You don't have to tell yourself that it's cold. Or you say, I'm hungry. Or, I'm late. I wonder if, the boss is going to be mad because I'm late. Well, let me think up something to say, and we'll rehearse that all the way to work. Fighting through traffic, we'll be rehearsing exactly what we're going to say and how we're going to say it in order to have ourselves excused. And therefore, our mind is always narrativizing. So if we find that our body is always having these feelings and experiences that we feel in our body, and our mind is always talking and dialoguing, we are then neither the mind nor are we the body. So who I am, who you are, is actually that awareness that is aware of what the body is feeling, and that is aware of what the mind is always dialoguing. And true self-realization is learning how to step back from that and simply observe your mind. You know, a lot of times some meditators will try to quiet the mind, and well, good luck with that. You sit down and try to meditate and you try to not think any thoughts. Well, I don't know how you can do that. It is possible maybe for a brief moment to quiet the mind, but the mind is always moving, always talking. So, and really what we then try to do is beat the mind into submission and force the mind to be quiet. And the mind is not going to be controlled. It will come back on you with a vengeance. And then, we have these feelings of energy that move through our body, feelings of pain and feelings of things that, if you remember a painful experience, maybe from your past, and maybe, a breakup that you experienced, if you think on that and you become aware, you will feel something in your body. You will feel your heart and your chakras and your throat begin to close, and you'll feel that lump in your throat. So therefore, then you understand you're not the body, you're not the mind. So who are you? Who you actually are is the observer of the body and mind. You are the awareness of both of those things. And that is really one of the values of psychedelics, because psychedelics, which were used in ancient religions, shamanic traditions, including Christianity, you can go back early enough into the Christian church and you will find very strong circumstantial evidence that the use of psychedelic mushrooms was a big part of early Christianity. So anyway, I'm digressing a little bit. The understanding then that these psychedelics can help break your connection with your mind and break your connection with your body, and help you to step back for just a minute and observe your mind and your body objectively. Well, that awareness that is observing your mind, that awareness that is observing your body, is the kingdom of heaven within you. It is the state of original consciousness. It is the state of being a little child. I have a little 2-year-old granddaughter, and she's so beautiful and so precious, and I watch her, and I watch her awareness and how she looks at everything as she looks around and she observes the world, and everything is new and everything is interesting, and you can tell she's just taking it all in. She's not narrativizing. She's not telling herself a story about everything. She doesn't even really know how to talk that well yet. But you watch that in a baby, that original consciousness, that is the kingdom of heaven. And that is what Jesus meant when he said, except you become as little children, you shall not enter the kingdom of heaven. Coming back to that original awareness is the kingdom of heaven. And so learning how to step back into a little, just taking a step deeper inside yourself and observing mind and body and as an original state of consciousness, then you will enter that place that the Bible speaks of as a peace that passes understanding. And these are the things, some of the things that I'm going to be sharing on this blog. One of my favorite tarot cards is the Lovers, and the Lovers demonstrates this principle very clearly. Now, you understand that the true purpose, and we'll be getting into some of this as we progress in subsequent posts, but the true purpose of tarot is not for divination. It's not to tell you, whether you should be open to a new relationship, or, in January, look out because there's going to be money coming your way, or anything like that. Of course, I do believe that on a certain level, those things can benefit. However, that is not the true purpose of tarot. The true purpose of tarot was actually written down as a set of 22 archetypal pictures that represent to us states of consciousness. The adepts in ancient times could not declare these things openly because it would have been taboo. They would have been, burned at the stake as heretics in that time. They could not declare these things openly. So in order to communicate, the old saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So in order to communicate these things, the adepts made pictures, and they put them on little cards, because these pictures actually reprogram the subconscious mind. They are archetypes that give our mind a framework within which to think. And by looking at tarot and absorbing the pictures of the 22 major arcana, we can literally reprogram our subconscious mind. So, with that being said, I'm not going to go into a large dissertation on the tarot, at least not right now. But if you look at the card, the Lovers, and what you see here is you see the man and you see the woman. And now here they are. They're obviously in the Garden of Eden. You can see the serpent right here on the tree. And then this is the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Here's the apple, that Eve ate. And all of these things are, metaphorical pictures that were given to us to help us access states of consciousness, to truly access the kingdom of heaven. And so, subconsciousness actually lives in the body. If you pay attention to how your body feels, if you're meeting someone or talking to someone, for the first time. And usually we're in our heads and we're trying to be interesting and we're trying to have conversation with this person and we're trying to get them to like us, usually. But if in that conversation you step back and you pay attention to your body, pay attention to the feminine side of your nature, the feminine subconscious which lives in your body, and notice how this person makes you feel. Do they make you feel anxious? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel sad? Are you picking up on their energy? Are you picking up on their vibrations? What is actually going on? And that is you actually being the observer of your body. And then over here we have the self-consciousness, and this is the pictured by the man here in the tarot card. And the man is the part that is always, it is the self-conscious awareness. It is the always narrativizing, that is always, you're always got this voice going inside your head. And that is pictured by the man here. But the true consciousness of who you actually are is pictured by the angel here, who is observing both the mind and the body. And he is watching over this pair and managing them and looking at them with love and awareness. This is the state of consciousness that the adepts, that the Buddhists teach. This is the state of consciousness that Jesus spoke of as the kingdom of heaven. This kingdom within, this awareness that is looking down and observing both the body and the mind. And when we come to this state of consciousness, what happens? We enter a state of paradise. Here they are in the Garden of Eden. This is the original paradise. This is the original state of consciousness. And if you'll notice here in the center, that is what is touching all three aspects of consciousness, is this cloud, which is actually represented by the breath. And the yogis will teach you that breath is the bridge between mind and body, but it is also the bridge between mind, body, and your original awareness. And one of the things we will explore as well is learning how to work with pranayama, learning how to work with the body, learning how to work with the breath and work with the mind to achieve this state of consciousness called the kingdom of heaven, Christ consciousness, this original state of childlike awareness. So these, like I said, these are some of the things that we're going to be talking about. There's so many things I could share, but I'm going to have to do that in some subsequent videos. But I hope that was enough, and I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks a lot, and God bless.